Okay, guys. Welcome to today's video. I think this is going to be very, very brief, right? This week has not been really, really easy for me to cope with doing all those videos, but I still try my best because we are almost rounding up, right? And I have to do it. Okay, so basically, I've not been. We're going to use this current move of the market to actually give a wonderful example, right? Because you're going to see certain moves like this that the market would create that has happened in the past. So, to some of you, this dump might be like your first experience since you started like trading, learning technical analysis, right? But I tell you, it is not the first kind of dump we have seen market creating in the past. Now, you see how this one is fresh. Look at this. We have seen dumps that have happened here, aggressive dumps here. This one was massive all the way from 104 to 91k, 104 to 91k, massive. We have seen such moves like that, right? And I'll tell you how to handle them if you, especially if you're not in that trade, right? Now I cannot tell you I caught any trade here on BTC. Because I did not trade them. I was not available on the charts to do any analysis. Throughout this week, I've not even taken any trade. Why? I've just been busy and I don't like to complicate things. If I'm busy doing physical activities or I have some events I want to attend to, some things physical, I don't want to start combining those things with my trading because if I'm trading, I want to be specific. I want to be whole. I want to just be trading and I'm at home, right? But if I'm moving from state to state, traveling and doing all those stuff, you don't want to be trading, right? If you don't have, so it depends on personality. Now, if you discover today, I don't know specifically the what's it called, the fundamental news that might have caused this aggressive dump and pump. So you can see the current 1 hour, 4 hour candle has just been opened for 2 hours, right? So you can see within 2 hours we saw this dump. Now let's look at this move very well. From the 1 hour candle, you can see it within an hour. Now let's go to 15 minutes time frame. Now you can see within 1 hour, 1 15 15 15 15, we saw a dump from 117k BTC all the way to 101. That is actually a massive dump, a massive sell off from institutions, right? A massive sell off from institutions that can happen. Of course, when moves happen like this, right, we are not expecting, we cannot tell market will take aggressive dump, right, invalidate any form of demand level. We cannot tell because when we are taking areas for what profits, we target nearest liquidity. But if you look at the reaction of the market on BTC so far, it corresponds to what I taught you guys yesterday. I was talking about certain patterns where you have, just follow me, where you have a demand that is valid and you have maybe market creating a supply, right, and maybe using order flow, and both of them are order flow, and market is coming from here down to this particular demand, right? So, and I was telling you guys the best thing to do is not too long or too short, right? Since the market was bullish and market bought from this demand down, selling and created a new supply zone, right? Some people enter buy to continue to break, right? What I would do is to wait for market to either, I told you guys yesterday, break the supply, right? Tap and continue, or market should come here, take out the new supply zone, right? Take out the demand zone, then come for a pullback, create a form of liquidity, and I want to take a sell, right? This is how. So at this point, I'm not buying, I'm not selling, but when the sell confirms, I buy. When the buy confirms, right? When the sell confirms, I sell. When the buy confirms, what, I buy. So if you look at what happened on BTC this same scenario. So when I was going to the charts, right, I was like looking at it, I was like, this is what I was teaching my students yesterday, right? So if you go to the 4 hours time frame, you see the two demands, the demand zone, this order flow region where there was a form of imbalance that market created here. Where's my rectangle? So just follow me. Market created here. Then when market was coming to fill this demand level, we saw market aggressively dumping, right, forming a new sell side order flow region right here. Okay, so this would be like a scenario of what I draw here, of a demand and supply the market created. Now you don't want to take a long here, because of course people will take a long here because they want market to go like this. It can happen, market can tap into here for a continuation, right? Market can tap into here for a continuation. People can take a sell directly off this place and market takes them out. So the best idea, if you see this kind of scenario, is to either wait for which one is going to play out. If market is going to buy, just like I said yesterday, this will take out this and I'll buy from here. I want to catch my entry here. Why? If it's going to sell, market will come and take out the previous low, which we saw here. So if you go to lower time frame, you will see the structure very, very clearly. So look at the way market tapped into the demand zone, rejected, and we saw that shift. This would be my entry. This was the first, and this would be my second entry. I'll go to 30 minutes time frame, 15 minutes time frame, and take my sell off a particular order block. Let's go to good. This would be my entry point on this sell side order block. Taking out this structural liquidity, this is how I would have taken the trade. Okay, because now for market to buy from this 4 hour demand and is pushing up to this side, right? If the market were to be bullish, when market came back down into this particular new created order flow region here, right? When you saw this pullback, market would have bought from here to break upwards. Then when you see a break off this particular region, right, there'll be a body candle close. I'll enter with a pullback. I know we are going bullishly, right? But now when you see market taking out the low, right, taking out this place, this will now be another opportunity to catch a trade. This first opportunity, another opportunity when we saw market creating this pullback here, right? But this would have been my favorite form of entry to catch this trade. Why? I have a demand supply zone that market rejected from, right? Then I will enter at this continuation. Let's call it, okay? I will enter at this continuation, a good region, right? So this is how you look at market reaction. Then all of a sudden, of course, if I'm taking entry here, I would have taken my profit just below this region, just below this region. This would have been my trade. Even if I'm taking a sell continuation from this place, I'll be targeting this imbalance region here on the 4 hours time frame. Of course, let's go to 4 hour time frame, which is also a good region for market to make a little bit of pullback. Even if market at wants to break, right? If this is not an aggressive sell-off, that you know that institutions are taking stronger form of the market would have respected this region at least for a little bit of bounce, right? So I can now be able to trade from the order flow just as we have been trading the market reactions, right? So we see moves like this. So it's not for you to now panic. Most people, they saw this move and some are already taking buys, some are taking sell. Market will definitely, you're trading with emotions. So if moves like this, you don't need to panic. You allow the market to calm down. Some people were aggressively, oh, market is selling. They're taking shots. Oh, market is pumping, they're taking buys. Market will take you out. You'll be get liquidated because at this particular point, market is just out there hunting, right? There might be a fundamental news that fuel this movement. If market were to dump normal technically, we may not see something so aggressive like this, invalidating zones very, very strongly on a higher time frame, not even smaller time frame. Okay, so when you see moves like this, you know that institutions, the fundamental is playing that is fueling the move, right? Not just liquidity now, not just liquidity hunt that is fueling the move. The institution is, there's an aggressive something that's fueling the move, making market to make that decision very very fast, right? So at that point in time, as a trader, you want to just ignore the market, ignore, ignore. Don't be aggressively, as long as, of course, the zones you'll be marking for a pullback would be one here. Market takes out this place, you would, you know that, oh, market is coming down, market is likely to react a little bit off any imbalance videos to give you full a pullback, because you know that market has shifted structure. But for this, understand the move. So the reason why I'm just doing this is just to give you like a little bit of a recess, understanding market reactions. We have done that in the past, understanding. So when market plays out like this, you're not panicking. Of course, you may panic if you have a bag, a sport bag, like me, like myself. Oh my god, a sport bag. The dump was so aggressive that most of the altcoins went down as low as the price they were last year, November, October, right? So imagine you got a coin and that same time, and you're looking at your portfolio. Of course, you have spot bags. Of course, as future traders, you still have spot bags. You still buy altcoins who you know, which you know they're doing well. You still have them. You still have some meme coins, some shit coins. But looking at this kind of dump, your portfolio will, you might not be trading in futures, right? You might not get liquidated because why? You're a disciplined trader. You're not trading anyhow. Those who short this market would have taken profit. Of course, I believe any of my smart students who had caught this sell setup would have taken his TP already. He wouldn't be waiting for BTC to 90k or BTC to. He would have taken this. Is where any smart tech student who caught a sell entry would take his profit. This line, the midpoint of this imbalance. If you're a smart tech student, of course, like I told you, I'd not taken any trade throughout this week. I've not traded. I've not been busy. I've been busy, so I've not settled down. But if there's any smart tech student who caught a sell setup from here, the take profit region, if I were to catch, if I saw a sell setup, if I traded, would be here, because this is where I'll be looking, this imbalance, right? This is where I'll be looking for market to make a pullback. So if I'm taking any sell setup from these regions, or taking any sell from here, and I want to target long regions, this is where I would have taken profit. Then the market decides to do all this one, is what market is doing. I've made my target. So say this simply that I don't care. But you see some traders now, oh, it's pumping back, it's pumping, let's enter long. You don't have any, you say gamble. Please don't trade like that if you want to last long in the market. Of course, you know, most sometimes um, my videos, daily videos, are based on what is just happening in the market, right? We learn from what is currently happening, how the market is reacting currently. We learn from the past and how it's reacting currently. So don't trade like others. Don't gamble. Some people are already longing. Some people are not sure. There's no setup. What are you longing? Where is your area of concentration? Where is the liquidity you're targeting? Where? So please don't trade like that, right? A smart student who took a trade off here has taken profit already. Have taken the sell profit, right? And you're not even aggressively taking any buys, because you're waiting. You're waiting. Most times when market makes a dump like this, right? If you go to the daily time frame and check past charts of BTC, when we have massive dump, there's usually a continuation to the downside, maybe sometimes halfway, right? You just go and practice, go and check your charts, look at this pullback, right? Look at this dump, rejection aggressively. You saw market still creating that form of consolidation, right? So most times, look at when market makes strong pullback, you still see market coming down a little bit to that same area, right? So you don't want to um, panic yourself to catch a setup. Oh, I didn't catch the short. I did not catch the short, and I'm your mentor. Does it mean you're not a good trader? No, you cannot catch every move. I did not even trade it. I just landing a new location and I'm seeing the market going ablaze. I was like, wow, my back's hurt. Pour me water, guy. Oh my god, time is gone. So guys, thank you for watching. This is just a brief, like a brief process, whatever you call it though. But I just have to show up. Okay, so I believe you've learned one or two things from what I've said in today's video, right? So by God's grace, tomorrow will be something wonderful, right? I have something planned to teach you guys. It's going to be very, very important. So you must not miss it. So see you guys on the next one.